It's a nice cool morning here in Southern Oregon, and I'm gearing up to hike 30 miles today. My body's definitely still adjusting to the trail after taking 2 weeks of rest, so let's see if I can pull this one off. It's day 133 of my hike from Mexico to Canada on the Pacific Crest Trail. I woke up in my tent, so psyched to be sleeping outside. I used to make these shelters in the woods when I was a kid, and now I make these shelters in the woods as an adult. Back in the wilderness. Pine trees as far as the eye can see. I spent a while walking through trees, but eventually the view opened up. I'm finally getting some views out here. The first 17 miles, maybe 7.5 hours of walking were all forested. So it was nice because they gave me shade, but it wasn't that interesting. My body was definitely not feeling at its strongest, considering that I had just taken 2 weeks off trail. My legs especially were not used to the feeling of walking all day, but nonetheless, I kept pushing through the 30 miles. So there is Mount McLaughlin, a stratovolcano, and I walked from behind there this morning, about 23 miles back. And I can still see Mount Shasta. These Oregon views are really taking my breath away. I continued to enjoy the views and tried to ignore the pain while I walked, and then I passed the 1,800 mile mark. Getting my first view of Mount Thielsen all the way in the distance. I saw a bunch of tiny frogs hopping underneath my feet, and I did my very best to not step on them. So tomorrow I'm walking into Crater Lake for the first time ever. I'm super excited for it, and I can remember back when I was hiking through Northern California, 500 miles back, I really didn't recognize any of the landmarks because I don't know anything about Northern California. So I started looking ahead on the map, and I started thinking, what's the first thing that I'm going to get to that I'll recognize? And it was Crater Lake. So for the last month or so, I've been saying to myself, I'm walking to Crater Lake. And now I really am, and I'll be there tomorrow. One thing about 30-mile days is I usually have to walk through the sunset. So I just made dinner, and now I'm heading out to do 2 more miles as the sun goes down. And it's bedtime. See you tomorrow at Crater Lake. On day 133 of the Pacific Crest Trail, I hiked 31 miles. Follow along for the next 900 as I hike to Canada with my guitar.